So again, I have put my ears to these financial streets, and the word on the street is to never use a debit card again. Cut it up, throw it away, and stop using your debit card right now. If you want to know why, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. What's up, guys? This is Monique and welcome back to the channel. I'm back with the news that you can use, but first, if you are new here, hello, bonjour, hola, konnichiwa, shalom. Thanks so much for stopping by, but don't just be a stranger. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button and join the family, because here we go everywhere in life together and all we do is win. And also do me a huge favor and like this video so that it can reach more people, so that we can help more people. So in the process of me reading up on some financial things, you know, educating myself, I came across this article that said do not use your debit card to purchase things, and they had all of these different reasons listed as to why you should not even be using your debit card, and how there are way more options out there for us to be using instead of debit cards that are said to benefit us even more. So of course, me being me, I had to go ahead on and do some more research on this, because debit cards are the most widely used form of payment there is. And with that being said, I thought that this was an extremely interesting topic for us to talk about, and we're going to do just that. But I'm actually going to be sharing both sides of this with you. I'm going to be the prosecutor and the defense for debit cards, because there is always more than one way that we can do things. But that means I'm going to leave all the judging up to you. We'll basically be getting into different forms of payment methods and what's the best option for you in 2022. So one of the first things that's mentioned why you should not be using your debit card is something that I've heard over and over again, and that is because of debit card fraud and your liability when it comes to it. And you know, right now during these trying times, there are many scammers, thieves, criminals out there that are using people's funds as if it was theirs. I recently had someone out in California use my debit card, and I live in Louisiana. How they got it, I have no idea. But debit cards are protected under what's called the Electronic Fund Transfer Act. And in that act, it states that a consumer, which is you and I, may be liable for unauthorized electronic funds transfer, basically someone using your money without your permission. But you may be liable depending on when you actually notified the financial institution. So basically, the possibility of you getting your money returned to you will depend on how quickly you act in letting the bank know that someone just stole from you. And right here is the timeline that they created for what you'll be responsible for and by what date. So if you report within 2 days, this act states the max you can be responsible for is $50 or the entire amount if it's less than $50. So basically, if they charge something for $44, you could be responsible for that entire $44. Now let's say for some reason you are unable to actually access your account, you have not looked at it within 2 days, but on that third day you decided, let me look at my account, and you find that someone took your money. So you hurry up and grab your phone and you call that financial institution. Guess what happens now? You have upped the ante. So at this point, your liability has increased to $500. So that means if that person went on ahead and used your card and took $1,000 from you, the bank may only end up returning $500 to you, because you'll be liable for the other $500. Now this next one, I don't see how anybody could go this long, but hey, you know, strange things happen in this world today. And so if for some strange reason you do not log into your account and check your funds for 60 days, that's 2 whole month, then you may just have to go ahead on and eat the charge up, because at this point there is an unlimited liability. Whatever they used, you could be liable for. If it's $2,000, if it's $5,000. So that means if all else fails, you're not getting your money back. So this is the main reason that a lot of people say, hey, don't use your debit card because you're not protected. But is that really a good enough reason? Because technically, I believe all you have to do is just make sure you check your account every day, and that could solve that part of the problem. But then there is something else to consider here, and that is the amount of time that it may take for you to get these charges reversed and put back into your account. And then so what happens for you during bill time, when it's time for you to pay the mortgage or the rent, and that money that they ended up tapping into was your bill money? There's absolutely nothing that you can do about it but wait. So this is why there's a strong argument to use credit cards instead, because credit cards are governed by a different set of laws that fall under the Fair Credit Billing Act. And in this case, if you are a victim of fraudulent activity, the most you will ever be responsible for is $50, no matter the time frame. The max is $50. And then the other side of the argument is that if they use any of the other money, it's not your personal money that they had access to. It's the bank's money. It's that line of credit. So your funds are safe. But when you introduce credit cards into this thing, that's an entirely different ball game. And honestly, I do use my credit cards, and it's for a number of reasons. But the main reason that I do use it is because I have learned how to manage it. I used to be the person that swiped it for any reason. I was in a whole lot of debt. I just shared a video with you guys about how Kelvin and I got out of all of our debt. Make sure you click on the link up here if you want to check that out. Not yet though. Let's get through this. But the main thing is I learned how to make it work for me. I learned how to use it for my benefit. And if you don't know how to use that, if you end up putting yourself into more debt, I don't care what the liability is, this is not a good choice for you. There is currently about $800 billion in credit card debt. So credit cards will not be beneficial to most people. And even if you do know how to manage it, sometimes life happens. Take the pandemic, for instance. I was laid off from my job in 2020, and so were a lot of other people. And some people had to end up living off that credit card, which means as good as they were with paying it off every month, now they can't. They don't have any funds coming in. So this is something that you want to consider when you make your decision about what payment method is best for you. Now, I do want to let you know this. The bank is in the business of making money. It is a business. It is not there for your pleasure, but it is there to collect funds. In their meetings, believe me when I say, they are figuring out how much they've made and how they can make more. And they are making more off of you. They are making more off of the interest. There are also some hidden fees in debit cards, like overdraft fees and all of those things. But the more in debt you are, the more money they make, because that means the more interest you are paying, and that is their main focus. So of course they're going to create all of these things and try to convince you to use credit cards. Banks are pretty smart, y'all. They know who to target and how to target people. So that's why they give this next thing, and that's why a lot of people say don't use debit cards. It's because of the rewards that the financial institutions are offering for the use of it. So that was an argument in the article that debit cards are not making you money, but credit cards can make you money. You can get bonuses, cash back, free travel. Is a lot of rewards that you can get when you use your credit card. But on the other hand, some will argue that what you do get back is not even worth it because it's not a lot of money. Let's say you have a 1% cash back on your credit card and you go and spend $2,000 in a month. Guess how much you're getting back? $20. And honestly, that's not a lot. But then there are different categories where you can get 5% back. So if you use $2,000, then you can end up getting $100 back. And $100 over a year can turn into $1,200. So for me personally, I think that even though it may look like a little bit, every little bit counts, especially if I'm using it for things that I normally would use it for. And I pay off my balance every single month. Now, I'm thinking about doing a video to kind of explain how to make credit cards work for you. If that's something that you are interested in, comment down below and I may go ahead on and make a video for you. But if you do not pay that balance off every single month, guess what? You are getting rewards, but you're paying for those rewards in interest. So it's not really like you're getting a reward. It's like you're putting money to the side to get it back later by paying the interest on it. And these interest rates today are extremely high. And honestly, when you compare that to the rewards that you're getting back, the question is it really worth it? And then on top of that, you know, you're getting yourself into debt. And I'm definitely not one for creating debt that's not making money for me, okay? So if you're creating debt just to get rewards and you're not paying that off and you're paying that interest, I personally just do not think that that's a good idea, because that interest that you're paying them, you could just put that to the side and reward yourself. And again, know that there is no one size fit all when it comes to finances. If using debit cards work for you, good. If using credit cards work for you, good. But I'm just laying out all of the options before you. I'm letting you know what the talk is right now so that you can have all of the tools that you need to make the best decision for yourself. Now, I know if Dave Ramsey ever watched this video, he probably will be screaming at the top of your lungs, because if you decide to use a credit credit card, he will call you stupid. Now, the last reason people say don't use the debit card, use the credit card instead, is because that when you're using your credit card, you're making those payments on time. That's helping your credit score. Now, some people may say you don't need to use a credit score and all that great thing, and there are instances where you won't have to if you have the money to cover it. But how many of us are out here just walking around with $20,000 on hand and like, hey, I'm going to go ahead on and buy this thing? So building credit, in my opinion, is something that is extremely important, but you got to be real smart about how you do it. And then even if you decide, hey, I'm not going to create any debt, sometimes when you apply to move in some apartments, guess what they're going to do? They're going to do a credit check, and if your credit is not up to par, you won't be getting into that apartment. So that is something to consider, but I just don't think that that's great enough to say, hey, never use a debit card again. You can be doing both things. So I hope that this helps you out today. Comment down below, tell me if you're for debit cards, if you're for credit cards, or even if you prefer cash, because some people say, hey, I'm just using cash for everything. And also, don't forget to like this video for me. If you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, because I'm telling y'all, we are growing together this year. And other than that, thanks so much for watching, and until next time, we are out. Peace.